All right, sweet. What's up, guys? This is Mark, and I have Tyler on the line. Is it recording? Yeah. So, what's up, Tyler? Or how do you pronounce your name? I don't want to be fucking your name up.
Yeah, it's Tyler. It's Tyler. But hey, right now it's saying that my Skype is not responding, so
okay.
Not sure what's going on. All right, so now I see you. I'm not sure. Okay, cool. The internet's better now.
Okay,
yeah, we're good. Yeah, so it's Tyler, and yeah, I'm 25 and I'm from Charlotte, North Carolina, same place as the Amazon legend Matt Gambrell.
Yeah. So this is one of Matt's friends. So how long? So Tyler, he's 25. He's from where? North Carolina.
Charlotte.
And he's been dropshipping on eBay. How long? He's an eBay dropshipper. How long you been dropshipping on eBay?
I started in January of 2017.
Okay, so almost a year.
Yeah, almost a year, yeah.
So Tyler just showed me his. Do you have? Okay. So Tyler just showed me his year of sales, right? He sold almost $1 million in 2017. But do you have like a? I should have fucking told you this before we started. But do you have on your phone just like the past 60 days or something?
I actually deleted the eBay app off of my phone, but I can download it real quick and do. I mean, I shared a screenshot recently in Honest Dropshippers. It was 200 I believe it was like 216,000 or something like that.
You know what I'll do? I'll put a link in the description of the video to that. Yeah, I remember that. It was like 216 in the past 2 months or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, so I'll put a link in the description. So
and right now in December, I mean, I pretty much have been, and that's just one account. So like I've got 4 eBay accounts. The way those work is one of them, the sources are Lowe's, Walmart, and Amazon. One of them is just Walmart. One of them is, and then 2 of them are just Amazon. So
and why?
So the reason that is so I first started off with a bunch of sources in one account, my main account, and I had to build this Excel model where I could pull down using the file exchange my sales, and then have like links to the sources that I could send my VA, and he could know where to go and order the products from.
Right.
And that kind of got really like tedious for me, and I kind of wanted to. I was using 5 different sources. Actually, then I cut it down to 3. But it just all got kind of tedious. And I was like, if I'm going to start more eBay stores, I want each one to have its own source, you know. But at that point, I was already in too deep with my first account. So I was like, all right, so at this point, it is what it is. I'm going to have to like keep this one, you know, jumbled up with different sources. It's fine. I can handle it, whatever. So then the other ones, I actually use software that automatically orders products from Amazon.
Okay,
so it's it's really easy for me to create a new store and not have to have too much overhead on that new store because of the fact that if it's just Amazon specifically,
you could order.
I'm only doing customer service and returns. So it's not too much to add a new store into the mix. But with Walmart, that's still all manual. So I don't have any auto order for that. The reason being is because if you use auto order for that, you can't get top cashback.
Yeah, and tax exempt.
Yeah, so top cashback is it's probably a third of my eBay profit with Walmart.
Okay.
And then I don't know if this is available outside of the U.S., but for U.S. sellers, if you have the Amazon Prime store card, you can get 5% back. So I buy gift cards with my Amazon Prime store card, and that's also a decent portion of profit at the end of the month is the cash back from Amazon. Yeah, the Amazon Prime store card is 5%, and then they also have.
No, I have the Amazon Prime store card in my hand right now. That's why I asked you that.
Yeah, it's a 5% it's a 5% as a, well, it was as a credit statement. Now they actually give you points, and you can either use it as a credit statement or you can use it to buy things on Amazon. So
yeah, because I have the Amazon Visa from Chase, and I have the all right, sweet.
Yeah, so all of these things kind of, and I also have the Walmart credit card, but they don't give
because that 5%. I'm missing out on about maybe $5,000 a month.
Yeah, I mean, so all these little things add up. Like,
Yeah.
it's crazy too. If you think about, using Paribus, getting the cash back when the price drops, that's probably like 0.25 to 0.5% like cash back essentially. Then you got, your credit card cash back, depending on what credit card you use, top cash back. I mean, all of these things add up to where, you look like you can price your pricing kind of low on eBay, but if you can afford to wait till the end of the month or like, even a couple months down the road when cashback comes in, you can actually make a decent chunk of money being the lowest priced, even though people don't see that,
Right,
So it's,
right.
and what I love about it is it's hard for, people like you to come in and undercut me. You guys, like, it's funny. I tell other, like, I'm in like a mastermind group with a couple other people, and sometimes like an item comes up when they're searching and they see that it's my store, and they just like immediately know, all right, well, I can't do anything, so I'm going away. There are some products though that I make pretty decent margin on. I actually, my VA team prices competitively, so it's not like we just have like a set margin that we price at.
Okay.
Like, it's kind of like you where, you find someone you undercut and you undercut them. But we also monitor our best-selling items very, very hard to make sure that if someone's undercutting us, we're going to undercut them back. And also, we're going to go and steal every single item in their store and undercut every single item in their store.
Right.
Just so it kind of discourages them to continue.
I mean that's exactly what that's the main reason I keep a limited amount of listings, because I want to know what the fuck is selling regularly, right? So again, I feel like Matt, and I don't know you very well. We're now getting to know each other, right? But I know Matt has been like very successful in training his VAs. I personally just don't trust people enough to like. So I only have like 700 listings now, but that's because I know what's selling regularly. But okay, but wait. So before you get into that, let me ask you. So first of all, how did you get into eBay dropshipping? What did you do before? Because we didn't do that stuff first. Like,
sorry, we just kind of jumped right into it.
Yeah. So what did you do before? Like, why you got into eBay dropshipping? Did you think it worked before? Like, tell me the whole story.
Yeah. So I have always kind of been like a hustler. I ran a book buying business in college that I was for a third party that they sold on Amazon. I bought the books for them. They sold them on Amazon, whatever. Where did you go to college? I went to UNC Charlotte, so here in Charlotte. Yeah. And before that, I was into online affiliate marketing with poker sites. My brother was a professional poker player. And I got into it and I realized, I could, when I was like 14, 15, 16, I did this. And this is I'm just giving you the story of kind of where all the hustler mentality started. Yeah, so this was a while back. And so I was the number one affiliate on one network. I was getting like all the high stakes players from this training website that was running this training website, and I was telling them, I don't know if you know what rakeback is, whatever.
I've been playing poker since I started in 2001, when it was completely legal in the US to play from the US.
Nice. So I always have had like a hustler mentality, always trying to find a way to make a quick buck, whatever. And so this time last year, right after Black Friday, I saw a post on Facebook, and it was Matt's eBay accounts after Black Friday, right? And each one had like $50,000 to $60,000 in sales. And I was like, what is he doing? Because I had not talked to Matt in a while. We used to play basketball together at the YMCA.
Okay.
And he's a few years older than me. I think he's 30 now, but
he's 30. I'm 34.
It's crazy. I remember he was one of the guys that I looked up to in the gym. He was always the hardest worker. Like,
this motherfucker is like cut as fuck.
It's crazy. It does not surprise me at all that he became as successful as he did, because he was always the guy doing like drills and stuff like that instead of just playing in the pickup games, like the boring stuff pays off. So that's how I knew Matt. But I saw his Facebook post. I reached out to him, and I was just like, what are you doing? And he just said drop shipping, right? And he sent me to this Facebook group training and also a link to some other like really basic training. And he didn't really say too much about it. And talking to him now, I kind of understand that he was getting hit up by a lot of people about drop.
Yeah.
And he gave everyone really like a vague like overview and just a link to like this thing. And like if they took it upon themselves to do it, they did. If not, then Matt wasn't going to like sit there and, you know, try to make someone else successful. It's up to you to do that, right?
Yeah.
So he did that for
and
me.
I had to learn that the hard way because dealing with fucking people on a daily basis and posting videos, I get the worst of fucking questions. Like,
oh, okay. Yeah. I mean, even now, like if I post anything in Honest Dropshippers, like it's like, okay, immediately I have 20 messages from people. I don't mind answering them, but it's the same message over and over again. So I don't know. A lot of times now I just realize I gotta. And here's the thing too. A lot of people, like from Matt's point of view back then, a lot of people would start and never finish. So I guess when someone hit him up, you know, you don't expect them to get to this point. But anyway, so I hit him up. I started doing the training. I found David Vu's course on my own, which I know Becky does a lot of. And that's kind of where I met the people that I surrounded myself with now is through that forum on David Vu's course. It was a really good overview. I think it's a little bit outdated. I know Becky still thinks it works in the UK or whatever. And
she even said that like it's a bit outdated because she hasn't updated it in like forever.
Yeah. It's a bit outdated, but at the same time, it's a really good, you know, core base on how to do customer service, how to list one product, whatever. But no software is incorporated, nothing like that. And honestly, software is the most important part of the business. So
exactly.
It's a lot of stuff that needs to be updated. But so yeah, I found David Vu's course. I also met this guy named Jeremy. He and I started. What we would do at night is we would have a spreadsheet, and in one column it was his name, one column was my name on Google Drive, and we would have competitions to see how much we could list.
Yeah.
And we always had to get to, I think 50 was our goal, but like we wanted to get to 100, right? Mm-hmm. So we started doing that. And I had never met Jeremy like in person. I just met him on the forum. But he became like sort of like an accountability partner where like, and honestly that part helped. If you can find someone who's kind of on the same level as you and both take off at the same time, like that's probably the most important part starting because it really.
That's one reason why I keep having people here. Like, I don't like to travel, right? I hate to fucking travel. But one of the reasons why, like Becky is sitting right here right now, and like Carlos is outside. And like one of the reasons why I try to keep bringing people here who are doing similar stuff is that same accountability thing, right? Like Becky and I are going to compete on some YouTube stuff pretty soon. And like, we competed on eBay UK, but she just killed my ass because I was doing too much other stuff. So my dumbass has to dance on camera on my birthday in January. But yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No, yeah. So the accountability aspect, that was the biggest part for me. And then from there, I mean, I wasn't even really worried about making money at the beginning. I think too many people are worried about making money at the start. I mean,
I think some of the people who, like, I moved to Nicaragua, so I didn't have to worry about money while I figured the shit out, right? And I feel like too many people, the thing is, as you said, you're like a hustler, right? You've been trying to make money all the time since you're a kid. Me too, right? And a lot of the people get into it when they need money, like now, right? Like they're like a month behind on their rent. They're like late on the credit card bill. Like the car's about to be repossessed, and then they want to drop ship, which generally is a bad idea.
Yeah, and see, when I started this, I had a better than average. Like I was a financial analyst at a private equity firm, and we mainly dealt with real estate and whatever. But it's just like I just wanted to get out of that 9-to-5 grind. It wasn't like I was like desperate for more money. It was I need to find a solution to not do this for the next 40 years of my life. So I knew it would take time. But like I said, I wasn't worried about the money at the beginning. I was worried about more so just getting started. Because I use the analogy like if you want to get in shape, right, you can look up online a workout routine and, you know, you can figure out exactly what you need to do. But until you go to the gym, you're not going to see any results at all, right?
Exactly.
So that's the same with eBay. There's so many people on, and there's one guy, I'm not going to mention his name, but over and over again, he posts on the Honest Dropshippers, and it's just like, how do you make $1,000 a month? What do you need to do this? And it's just like, if you get on there and you start seeing like, and you're organized with your records, you can figure out pretty quickly what it takes to make $1,000 a month just by doing it.
Yeah, not fucking post on Facebook every day with all bullshit, right? Like the time it takes to be looking through Facebook and posting all the shit, just go fucking do it.
It's just like with everything you do in life or everything you want to learn, there's so much theory out there, but until you put it into practice, it's all just theory. That's all it is.
Yeah.
With eBay, it's the same way. There's so many different theories about how eBay works. And I don't really give into any of them or pay any attention to any of them. I just keep going. You know what I mean? I just keep listing, keep experimenting, seeing what works, and what works for me. I mean, I just keep extrapolating and keep doing. That's it. But
and I feel like that's so. I've known Matt, when I say known, like online for years, right? And like it's the same thing. Like what I did with eBay, I made $3, and then I was like, fuck, like how could I do this 1,000 times? And then I was like, how could I do this 10,000 times? And I feel like with Matt, it was the same thing. It was like, you just need to figure out how to make that, like if it works, and then figure out how to scale it, right? And
exactly.
But I think too many people are worried about like, how do you get to $5,000 before they made $10 or before they made $100? So I think that is something that hopefully people will take from this video.
And when you talk about scaling, I remember when I made my first sale, it was a Himalayan salt lamp, and I made 25 cents on it. It was from Bed Bath & Beyond. And I stood up when I heard the cha-ching because it was the first sale, you know, like when I stood up, and I was in the room with my girlfriend at my apartment, and I was just like, oh my God, I can't believe I did it. Like, and she obviously, you know, the average person is probably like, well, why is 25 cents, you know, exciting? And it's like, well, if I can do that 1,000 times in a day, if it all I had to see was that it worked one time.
Yeah.
And once I know it works one time, then it's going to keep working. So that's what the scale is so important. Just keep scaling and don't worry about your profit, because eventually, like I said, the profit will come. Like once your sales keep building, once you have the regular selling items, whatever, the profit will come. So it's just a matter of time. And I was able to quit my job after 6 months or 7 months of doing eBay. And I remember, but I was only sleeping probably 3 to 4 hours a night because I had that job.
You were working. Okay.
Yeah. So like my job is more like an 8 to 6 job, and I was not feeling good for a couple months because I grinded so hard. But I mean, it's so worth it now. I pretty much pick my own schedule. I can travel when I want to. I mean, I posted on that Honest Dropshippers and said that I had recently, you know, gone to Cherokee and won that a bunch of money in like 3 different poker tournaments.
Right.
None of that stuff would have been possible. Like,
yeah, exactly.
You can take time off work, whatever. It's crazy that if you put in the work up front, you're gonna see like so much more happiness and free time and whatever you want to do on the back end. It's crazy.
But I've been struggling with like, when I first started to do eBay dropshipping, I thought like everyone could fucking do it, right?
Yeah.
Not everyone, but anyone could do it. And it's just work. Like, and people complain, the same fucking people that wake up every day and have to like drive an hour to work, drive an hour back home, like face traffic, complain like it's too much work or the profits are not big enough. Okay, continue driving to work and driving like
yeah. No, it's crazy to me. It really is crazy to me. And if it were, you know, if I were making less on eBay than I was at my other job, I'd still be happier. Like, but I mean, I'm making more on eBay now than I was at my old job, and I don't have to work as much. It's a double benefit. But when I first quit my job, I actually was making a little bit less on eBay than I was at my job, but I saw that it could grow faster if I just, you know, quit. So that's when I was like, okay, it's time to quit. But
okay, let me ask you something. Do you, again, you are 25, but do you think people should quit their jobs? like to drop. Like that's a very I don't like giving like life advice because I don't want someone with 3 fucking kids to go quit their job. eBay fucks up their account and like they're not ready for like how do you feel now that you quit your job? Like how do you manage your money? Do you like save? Like how do you feel? Because with a job you feel that security that like you have that payment every month, right? I have never really had a job since I graduated university. So I can't really, when people ask me if they should leave their job, I'm just like, yeah, I don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's a little bit different because I do have enough money now saved where I feel like if eBay F's me up, then I'm still young enough to go get another job. I have a financial degree. I've had 3 different really solid financial jobs so I mean, like, I feel like I could go tomorrow and probably get a job somewhere, especially Charlotte being like a financial hub. But yeah, somebody who has 3 kids and wants to do this full time, I would recommend that they find all of the free time that they can that they're wasting right now watching TV or doing something, doing something that's not productive, right? And just putting that time into eBay. And when they start to see that they're making as much or more than their job, at that point, I would say go for it, right? And I know that you can open up stealth accounts to kind of hedge your risk a little bit if eBay, messes up your account. One thing I have noticed is that foreign dropshippers, they have a really difficult time compared to U.S. dropshippers.
Because I only live in Nicaragua, but my accountant and my company and everything is in the U.S., right? So I'm still a U.S. dropshipper. I just happen to live in Nicaragua.
Yeah, so like randomly foreign accounts will get shut down that have been, going for a year, right? Yeah. I've never heard that happening to anybody in the US.
Yeah, that's the thing.
It's like it really depends on your situation. And I have this like kind of notion that eventually it's going to be hard for people that are outside of the US to get in the mix as much as someone in the US because of the fact there's that 1.5% fee that because in theory in theory, I mean, if you look at the way markets work where there's inefficiencies, the inefficiencies always close up. Like the gaps always close, right? So the margins get smaller and smaller. Not to say you can't find stuff and find ways to make more money. The one example is Israeli dropshippers. They do a really good job of that where they like create their own pictures, create their own descriptions, all of that stuff. Every Israeli dropshipper that I try to model my stores actually after Israeli dropshippers. Because they actually, in my opinion, are probably the best, and they find ways to find margins on products that I can't even fathom. Like on a $10 product, they're selling it for like $25, and I'm just like, how is this person doing this? Yeah, so not to say there's not ways, but at the same time, if you want to take like a very standard approach to dropshipping, it's going to be harder for you to get in if you're not in the U.S. and not competing on price a little bit, but. Because
I still don't completely compete on price, right? Like I know a lot of guys. Okay, how many listings do you have? Even if you don't want to give me exact number, more or less, how many?
So between my 4 stores, I've cut it down a lot. I had 30,000. I probably have around 20,000 now.
Right. So look at that. I'm still selling $100,000 a month, and I have less than 800 listings. Period.
That's crazy. I can imagine.
You know what I mean? So like So I don't completely compete on price all the time, and like there's some of my products that I'm nowhere close to the lowest, but there's one in particular I've been selling for 3 fucking years from the same account, and like I'm 20% higher than the other people, and I'm still at the top of the eBay search, right? And because a lot of people are beating my price, it doesn't sell as often as it did before, but it still sells almost every day. So I find that weird balance between completely competing on price and listing and find those items that I can still manage than like, but again, like for instance, what Becky does, I remember saying I don't believe it worked, and now she's here, and now I know it fucking works. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, anyway, go ahead. Sorry to cut you off.
No, that's cool. Yeah, where were we? What was I talking about?
We started about if to quit your job, and then we went into like, the foreign, yeah. We were talking about a lot of foreign.
Kind of all over the place, huh? But yeah, so then I guess now, like where I'm at now, I'll just talk about that a little bit. I'm making a decent amount of money, and I just all I want to do in 2018 is just continue to grow. I want to open up stealth accounts, and I feel like I'm at that point where it'd be a good hedge for me. I do have the Amazon side of my business that Matt helps me run as well. That's a nice income stream in case anything does happen with eBay. I have that. If anything happens with Amazon, I have eBay.
Right.
But in terms of, I guess going back to quitting the job, just to hit that point home to the mother of three or whatever you were talking about, because I feel like a lot of the people that are trying to get into drop shipping are those people specifically.
Right.
But
and one person on the drop shipping, Amanda, she has a job. She's in DSG also. She has a job. She has, I think, 2 kids, and she's still selling like $30,000 a month and making a couple of grand. Like you know what I mean?
Yeah. So one thing, if you treat this like a job, you're gonna make money like a job. If you treat it like a hobby, you're gonna make hobby money. It's just that's just the way it is. So eventually, if you want to make this a full-time living, you have to start treating it like a job. So don't just get on there, mess around, and read the forums a couple days a week and think you're gonna get good at drop shipping. It's not how it works. You have to really tell yourself that this is what you want to do, and you want to be a professional dropshipper, and then you'll make professional money. That's just how it works.
Yeah, and I remember like waking up first of all, I used to wake up at 3 o'clock to be able to get a lot of that stuff done before anyone else wakes up. And then I was telling Becky about this, and then I realized that like the only thing I was giving up at that time was just like the 8 to 12 o'clock where people usually hang out. But I couldn't give a fuck, right? I just wanted money. So like, So like, but I don't. Another thing I struggle with, I don't understand why people treat jobs like jobs, and then treat their business like, let me look at eBay, like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't understand. I don't know if it's because the internet portrays this like make quick money type of thing, but it's just about getting the shit done. Fuck.
Yeah. It is, and if you look at my graph, I mean that I sent the one that I sent you that you're gonna edit in here. You can see that it's really not a get rich quick scheme at all. Like you can see the first few months, I was probably doing like a few $1,000s in sales, and then all of a sudden, that graph just skyrocketed up, and that's kind of how this business works. Like you just eventually one day.
Can I share that image in Honest Dropshippers also?
Yeah, feel free.
All right,
wherever you. But I mean that right there just proves it's not a get rich quick scheme. Granted, I was starting probably in one of the slower times of the year.
I think it's always a benefit. Okay, so I personally think I don't like when people start drop shipping November, December, because then they'll think that's how it's supposed to be, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, it's even hectic for me right now, and I'm like experienced, and I have 12 VAs, so it's like I can't.
So that's the next thing. Anyway, go ahead. Just talk about that.
Yeah. So like even for me right now, like with taking that week that I went to Cherokee and played in the poker tournament, and I would log on for like an hour or so a night, but I was like, wow, this is nothing like it was like a month ago. Like this is way crazier than like I had like 400 messages in one day on my eBays, and I was just like, I can't handle this.
And
but
what's the most items you sold in a day?
The most items? I'd have to look at that. I mean, I probably average around 200 sales a day right now.
Wow. So your average price had to be relatively low then, because
so because of the fact that I'm using auto order software for Amazon, I can actually sell a lot of like $10 items and make like $1 profit on it and be happy. It doesn't take any of my time up at all because of the fact that it's auto ordered. So I don't really care about price point too much. I just care more about the margin. So
because I don't think have I ever hit 200. I think I hit close to 200, but my average price is like close to $100. Like my average price is like 90.
Yeah, and see, I've got a few items from my Walmart items. I'd say the average price point of those is like $50 to $60. But and my Lowe's items are the same way, where I've got a couple items that I sell regularly that are over $100. But most of my stuff is in that like $20 to $25 range, and
Okay, okay.
Honestly, yeah, I'm happy with that. I'm not worried about it because, like I said, I have the auto order for the lower price stuff, and then I've got the VAs to handle
Customer
the
service and
yeah, yeah. So
and how much you think you're profiting? Do you have an
a day,
exact? Yeah.
day right now. So I actually just looked at this for December. I mean, I'm averaging between $400 and $500 a day profit
Nice.
for eBay.
Mhm.
Yeah, and then Amazon. You know how Amazon is. It's a whole other.
Yeah.
I mean, there's probably another $1,000 a day from Amazon in there too. So,
Yeah,
but
that's crazy.
yeah, it's mind blowing to think that I'm making in a day what I was in a week
Yeah,
at my
dude.
job. Like it's great. And what's funny too is at my old job when people found out I was doing this, they were such skeptics. Like I even tried to get some of them involved in whatever, and they just didn't think it would work, I guess. And I was like, no, I think I can eventually make 50,000 a month from this. Like that's my goal. Like that's what I want. And at the time I was making like $3,000 or $4,000 a month when I was still working.
Right.
And they were just like, "You're only making $3,000 to $4,000 a month. How do you expect to make 50,000 eventually?"
Exactly. I know. Listen, so
Still,
I'm a bit older, so like back in it, like I interned at Goldman back in like 2003, right? So I have friends that are still in investment banking, but like 10 years later, and I'm making maybe the same amount of more money than them, and they've been in investment banking for 10 years, and my dumbass is in Nicaragua just chilling.
yeah, they're probably like, "Damn it, why didn't I start this?" That's seriously, and every single time, like the people from my work, like they'll still text me and ask for reports on how I'm doing, just because they're curious, I guess. And I tell them, and they're just like, "Damn it, why didn't I start back then?" And
One second.
no worries.
¿Ah? Sí, no, estoy hablando. Dame 5 minutos. Yeah.
So it's like, but what I try to reiterate to people who say stuff like that to me is like, it's never too late to start. Like you can always start,
Right,
So
exactly.
just because of the fact that I'm like a year ahead of you now doesn't mean that you can't catch up to me in 2 years. Like
Yeah,
if
exactly.
I back off a little bit, but yeah, no.
But it's not even about catching up. Like someone can still start and make a couple grand a month, right? So it's not like. So yeah. Anyway, Tyler, let me not keep you too long, and I have a ton of shit to do here. But thanks for your time. What I like to maybe do a call with you, maybe like a week or two, and just I like doing these calls to share not just my strategy and my experience doing this, but what some of you other guys are doing and make it back as well.
Yeah, definitely. And I appreciate you having me on here, Mark.
All right, thanks a lot, Tyler.
Yeah, no problem. Bye.
All right.